So I've pressed the button.
The button is pushed.
People can now see us and hear us.
Hi, people.
Hi,
party people.
Hi, all you human beings. Hello. You guys are all... Wow. Oh, hi, chat.
Hi, chat. How's it going?
I want to thank you.
I have it pulled up on my phone.
Okay. Oh, yeah. We started the Skype call, and we just started talking, and then literally at 6:58, we went, oh, wait, we didn't do, like, any of the tests. That's why we're a little late.
Nope. Yep. Sorry. Sorry about that.
That's our bad. That's our bad. We didn't...
It's my bad. I'm a blabbermouth.
Oh, hey, it was great talking to you. Because...
Oh, thanks.
We've never actually, like... We've always talked to each other on, like, Twitter and stuff, and there was...
Yeah.
That one time we were both in the same stream, but, like, we never
were.
Yeah, we've never actually sat down one-on-one and talked. So...
You know, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot we were in the same stream. We actually have talked to each other, kind of. I don't even know if we interacted in that stream whatsoever. There were so many people.
No, there were so many people, and it was just, quick, hurry up. We got to do this talk back after...
Oh, yeah.
The final security breach theory. That's what it was.
Yes. So, yes. Yep.
So, I'm excited to have FuhNaff here, John here with me. To talk a little bit about the timeline that we put together on game theory. Normally on a Tuesday we play a game, but today I specifically wanted to do this, and that was mostly because, as per usual, when a FNAF theory goes up, MatPat is trending on Twitter, and it's usually about something being wrong. So we were going to talk a little bit about that, not too much. I mean, that whenever the talkback happens that was supposed to happen on the last one happens, then, you know, they can discuss it then.
Yes.
But we wanted to get our 5 cents in. Or 6 cents. Inflation, baby.
Maybe even 7.
Whoa.
I
love it. Let's go.
I'm ready.
But also, this is a good opportunity if you guys want to ask any questions about like how we did certain things in the edit. I will do my best to answer them, because out of this, hour and a half long adventure, I think I did 2 minutes of editing on this one.
Oh my god!
So it's like this one. Oh, I gotta remember who edited this, and I can't open up my work email on stream because I don't want to risk it. But I do know that huge shout out to Tyler, huge shout out to J-Ski Bean, Pedro, Warak, Sea Lion, Super Sea Lion did something, and I'm trying to remember who else. Basically everyone touched it. The entire team touched it. So they absolutely killed it. When are you going to react to the Monument Mythos? We've already did a good chunk, but we haven't gone back. Ocean Bacon, thank you so much for the $2.
Hi, Ocean Bacon.
Oh, is that one of yours?
No, I don't know them, but I love them. I love bacon.
I love bacon
and
too.
The ocean.
I'm concerned what Ocean Bacon is.
I don't want to try and think about it.
Yeah, let's not.
Let's
not do it. Rev is still dead. Sorry, guys. My last
is still dead.
So like my last FNAF fan game video that I did, I basically like wiped clean I wiped clean all of my like channel lore because I was like, this is out of control. I can't keep doing this.
Oh yeah. That was a great video.
Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun to make. Kyron Gecko, hello. Was that your doing William's evil laugh in part 2? Nailed it.
That was you?
That was me.
Oh, nice.
The
That was
crazed
sick.
laughter, that was me.
I love that.
That was
Oh my.
I went on websites, I was looking, I was like tearing through. I'm like, I need one good evil laugh. And I couldn't find anything for like
Yeah.
30 minutes. I went, screw it, I'm doing it myself.
Yep.
So my hype wife, Alyssa, has a VO booth that she uses for her voice acting. So I just went in there and laughed like a maniacal man. And fortunately, I was the only person in the apartment at that point. So no questions asked.
Nice. Nice.
So I definitely want to get to that part in the theory. But the main reason why I wanted to have John on is because where I am very critical of the game, my lore senses are pretty minimal. And John here has done a lot of digging through FNAF lore. We would have also, it would have been great to also get Tom on this too, but of course he's in a completely different time zone and just, he's sleepy. He's sleepy.
He probably sleepy. He probably eeping.
Yep. Stanley Forever. Hope you guys enjoy the theory. It's probably my favorite of his. Sure, it's not perfect, but narratively, I found it really engaging. Thank you so much for the $10. And yeah, one thing that I am so proud of the team for is how much this felt like a short film. Like,
Yes.
this is
I agree.
Yeah. This was the closest we would have gotten to like actually like just doing a story. Like a scripted narrative piece.
Oh, it was such a different. It was so different from every other game theory video. It was really refreshing.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I really liked it.
Yeah. It felt really good to do. So also Jazzium with the weekly reminder that Velcro is such a ripoff. Yeah? You like that one? Yeah.
Your delivery of that was perfect. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was great.
Shout out to Dumb Freak, who he would show up in chat and without fail, every time he would always open with Velcro is such a ripoff. And I'd be like, there he is. Mathtron, thank you so much for the membership.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Okay, so before we jump in, I know we just did a lot of talking, but now is the time where we're going to say hi to people. And I know that this is going to be chaos as soon as I say this.
Probably.
So we're going to say as much as we can until we're out of breath, and then we'll just be done. So
me and you?
I mean, I can go, and then you go.
Ahead.
And then, okay, Logic Fallacy, hello. Jacqueline Pavon, hello. Peppy Soda, Rat, Shy Rui, Mega Prime was there. Me, Hoob, Sonic Dies, K-Tune, Alexander Whittington. It's too fast already. Crosby Shadow Emperor, Stephanie, VIP Wireless, Delta Lima, the Bleeding Dragon, Shadow Copa, Tails, Zonked, Chasenator, hello. Candy Cat, Sergio Bread, VIP. I already got VIP Wallets. Crap. Kusa Rider, Butterstick, Random Game Nonsense, Monkey Mind with Tax Fraud. How dare you, Mystic Person. Moist Melons. Hello. Masked Steven. Beben? Won the Dan fan, Microsoft Minecraft Master, the Aegis 13, Crazy J, William Dave Afton, Mossix Empire, Zappy, Malia, Manus, X Button, 3-Story, Mystery Meow. This is just the stream now.
That is just the stream.
It's just the stream.
We should just do this the whole time.
Yeah, Starlight, so Problem Icon, Hunter Nash. I can't. I gotta tap out there. I will continue to say hi as we go. Test subject, hello. Purple Nikki, hello. Anoma Lay, hello. Mathtron, of course, hello. Nintendo U25 plays. FNAF is here.
I'm in the chat too. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. Eve beat him. Zeno. Okay. for the sake of everyone that is watching this VOD, we should go ahead and get started. We're going to start at the beginning one. KL, hello. How are you? We're going to start with the first
Rat
one.
is in the chat. Shout out to Rat.
Shout out to Rat.
Love you, Rat.
Let's go. The Dan of
I know
87.
Rat.
Oh
FNAF
God,
is amongst us.
I am the Dan of 87.
You are. And I'm the John of 83. And together we make
Yeah, but like
something.
I was born
Two
in
traumatic events.
I was born in 87. I'm literally the Dan of 87.
You were born in 1987?
Yeah. I'm old, dude.
Oh my gosh. You are Dan of 87.
Yeah, it was like
oh wow.
I
I was born in 2000, so that makes me the John of 2000.
John of 2000. Yeah, hey, here's the thing is like I got made fun of a lot for having a baby face growing up, and now it's just going into older age. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Was that the 87 of Dan? Was that the Dan of 87?
Was that the Dan of 87?
Perfect. Let's do this thing. We're gonna start watching it. You do not have a way to pause. So if you need me to pause, just like give like a or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this.
Today we
Who
end
said
the
the
torment.
John of nothing? I'm sorry.
How dare you?
Someone said I'm the John of nothing.
How
Sonic.
Sonic, really? He's got such an attitude.
Really? Anyways, go
let's
ahead.
go.
19 books, 11 games, 8 whole years, all leading to this moment. The ultimate FNAF timeline is finally complete. The pieces...
And we will absolutely redo this next year.
The DLC is going to come out, and then everything's going to be ruined.
Oh God, I can't. The DLC is going to ruin everything. I just know it in my heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, we are fostering kittens again. There are 2 new cats somewhere in this room. They're really shy, but if they come out, everyone gets a little kitten cam. We'll see.
Aww.
We'll see how it goes.
are in place for us. Now all we have to do is put this story of tragedy, jealousy, and loss back together. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, the show that feels like a kid revealing the class project that he's been working on all year. Except here, it's the class project that I've been working on for the past decade of my life.
Both, and I'm going to be pausing a lot because the thing is if we want to do commentary, we have to pause because how we edit Game Theory is like go. But both John and I can confirm that they have, like, Matt and Tom have been, like, suffering through writing this thing forever.
Yeah. Yep.
It's been a long time. Mathtron, with $2, is it the 4th or 5th final timeline? I think this is our, I think 4th is our final timeline. Our 4th time. Our fourth attempt at the timeline, I think.
Yeah.
Also, Lilith of the Void, hello. And also, one of the editors themselves, J Ski Bean, is in the chat.
Hi, J Ski Bean.
How are you doing? Okay, back in.
This one is big, my friends, and I gotta admit, kind of nervous. I haven't attempted a timeline video on this franchise since 2018. Back in the days when Mike was the crying child, Afton coming back was actually a surprise, and Fazgoo wasn't a phrase I'd ever thought I'd have to utter. But since the last time I did something like this, we've had 3 more massive games, the death and revival of the FNAF movie, and more robot kids than you can shake a staff bot at. It is exhausting trying to keep track of this whole franchise, which honestly is why I'm here today. The lore at this point is complicated.
I can't tell you how long this like a book asset that we have, the lore book down here that got crushed, we've been using this thing for years at this point.
Oh, I know. I know. It's great. I mean, it still looks great, so why not?
Yeah.
You know?
Why break what ain't broken? Why break? No. Guys, it's been a day. I'm gonna say things terribly.
It's been a day. Forgive him.
Forgive me, for I have sinned on the internet. This poor book.
It's complicated. It is full of speculation and theory. So to hopefully make it a little easier for everyone and to give us all a baseline to talk about this franchise moving forward into the future, it's time to reveal my current working FNAF timeline. But just before I do, I just want to explain a couple of things.
Oh, do I need to skip this? Yeah, this is just him explaining that he's breaking it up into 3. Let's get to like...
Chunk, we're also into those details. Without any more waiting, I present...
Okay. First, Rat, thank you for the $2. We should start calling John Fuh.
First name Fuh, last name Naff. FuhNaff.
Mr. Naff.
My name on the internet used to be Fuhjohn.
Was it really?
That is, unfortunately. And I hated it. And I got rid of it, and people still call me it sometimes. And I'm like, it's just bringing up bad memories. Fuhjohn.
God, if there was one thing I could do different with my channel, I would have not have named it that Cybert channel. I would have just said Dan Cybert, and that would have been it. The damn names.
Really?
Yeah, the name's too long. It's too long.
I mean, you could argue the Game Theorists is a long name.
True.
Just as long. Maybe.
True. The one thing that I was talking to a guy. This is just how LA works.
Okay.
We were at a bar, and I ended up talking to someone that was working with on like a YouTube original, and we exchanged business cards. And he looked at me, look, that Cybert channel. That's a long email address. And I'm like, oh no, he's right.
Oh no.
It was just a moment like, I need to change everything. But of course.
No.
Like, great. The thing is that Cybert channel now works better because YouTube wants shorts and they want live streams and they want videos. So now it makes sense that all your Dan needs are in one convenient channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always struggle with like trying to figure out names for channels, like a second channel or something. But then I remember like Markiplier probably didn't roll off the tongue until he made it roll off the tongue. You know, like PewDiePie, Markiplier, they're all silly names, but they become so well known that people just sort of adopt them over time, and they just sound more natural. It's like, I think it doesn't really matter what you name your channel, but I don't know, maybe I could be wrong.
Yeah, there's. I mean, then we're getting into marketing, and that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about
exactly.
Afton.
You're
The
right.
story of a loving, obsessive father who slowly descended into
Dying
madness,
Star, thank you for
and
the
along
membership
the way
for 3 months.
discovered the secret to eternal life.
This
Our story
section
begins not in the 1980s.
I thought was very interesting, if a little slow. If I'm just like critiquing our own work, I was like, the first video is a little slow because you're like, I just want to see him get to the game overing.
So you think he dove a little too much into the past?
No, I think the thing is I think it makes a lot of sense, because the one thing that has always bothered me about Purple Guy is that his motivation has never been like super clear. Like Sister Location started giving him something to work with, but like it's always kind of like felt on a surface level as like, oh yeah, he just likes game overing kids.
Yes. Yeah. That's something I've been struggling with. And I'm working on a video right now where I have a good idea, but like it It is tough. This part surprised me that it was in the video. I didn't think that it's a great idea, like the sign about how Fredbear's singing show or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about like how that could be way long in the past, and this could be like a father passing it on to his son kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But yeah, I was really surprised by this.
Axo's Abode, thank you so much for the $1. Huge appreciation. That goes straight to helping me fix my sink. Home ownership is a time. Anyway, let's keep going.
Oh, I bet.
Or even in the 1970s, but all the way back in the 1930s. It was the throes of the Great Depression, and people were in desperate need of cheap entertainment, especially in
Seeing
Utah,
it go
one of the
this far
states hit
back was
hardest.
wild.
Fourth highest unemployment in the nation and full of transients. People looking for work in Salt Lake, finding none, and ultimately moving on to find their fortunes out in California. People were tired and they were hungry, but as they traveled, there was one thing that could lift their spirits. A simple roadside attraction called Fredbear's Singin' Show. The ads were plastered all over town, featuring an animated bear drawn in the popular pie-eyed cartoon style for characters at the time. He resembled cartoons like Mickey Mouse, Felix the Cat, Betty Boop. It immediately said that this, Fredbear's, was a place where you could bring the family. And the price, honestly, couldn't be beat. For 50 cents, you could get food and entertainment as you watched the local
That hurts.
Yeah.
Just 50 cents for entertainment and food. That hurts so bad.
And then the little edit in the bottom corner, like roughly $9 in today's currency. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my, what?
Yeah,
50 cents is now $9.
Yeah, and that can maybe get you a small meal in at like McDonald's. Terrible.
Yep. And I love the detail of using the quarters from 1924 and not using like 2010 quarters, you know? Just a subtle little detail to keep it in character.
I didn't even see that. I've watched this whole thing. This is my third time watching the full thing, and I didn't catch Tyler, man. Tyler and Jay just said it too. He's so crazy good.
Oh yeah. And then like the Costco hot dog is coming to frame.
Good old Costco hot dog.
Yeah, that bun looks like plastic.
Yeah, look, assets are hard to find, and sometimes you just
It looks good. No, it's great. No, it does the job. It does the job.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Let's get back into it.
And entertainment as you watch the local trained real-life dancing bear perform on stage. Normally, you only got to see dancing bears at large traveling circuses like Barnum and Bailey, where the tickets would go for about $1. That's $1 without food. But this was a smaller show, like the type from the Vaughn brothers or the Robbins brothers, where tickets would sell for just a mere 50 cents. Watching that bear do tricks on stage brought a glimmer of joy at a time when so much was wrong with the world. The simple show would go on for years, bringing happiness to hundreds of travelers passing through looking for a quick meal, but it left a permanent impression on one little boy, capturing his imagination in a way that nothing else had. One little boy named Billy.
So this was our first time, like 1930 feels so early for Afton to be. So what, he would have been 50 by the 80s?
Yes.
Minimum.
Well, no, if he would have been like 60 or older. He had to be old enough to walk and see the show.
Yeah, and remember it. Yeah, so
like 65 maybe by the 80s. So he's 65 years old in 1987 or older.
Yeah.
And doing stuff he's doing. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny that like this whole part of the video came from that one poster. And it's valid, like it's valid, but like I've never really thought about it before. It's one of those things that I kept in the back of my mind, but it doesn't really make sense because I don't know, whatever. It's so interesting. I didn't expect this big of a chunk to be focused on this, because he could have easily been like, yeah, this was the thing back then and whatever. But yeah.
I mean, it's definitely an important moment, I think, for the narrative that we ended up putting together, is that needed to be inspired by something. Sideshow attraction was the thing that got him.
Yes. 1000% agree.
But it is like, it's so hard to go like 1930. That's, man, it was like the first game was maybe in the 90s, like when the first FNAF came out, it wasn't quite didn't quite make sense. And Crazy Shadow Bear, that is a very good point, and it is very much something that we struggled with with all of this, is that this particular theory, we needed to spin a narrative. We wanted to write the story, which means that you kind of had to go, this lore, maybe it was retconned. Never mind.
Yeah.
So I'm thoroughly convinced the only man that knows the exact timeline is Scott. And I want to see it. I'm going to heist the FNAF timeline.
Okay.
Guys, it's time for a heist.
Take one for the team.
Yeah. Oh, yes, Steelwool probably has a copy. Chat, you want to join my heist team? If so, please respond with, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
For legal reasons, this is a joke. For legal reasons, this is a joke.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. We're not going to go steal the FNAF timeline.
Yes. No.
No.
Oh, God. Everyone's saying yes.
Okay. What have I done? I think I've made a huge mistake.
We have a small army.
Well, God, Will, let's see. In the meantime, let's get some more Afton.
But his parents like to call him William Afton. The bear could dance, it could sing. For decades, William dreamed of recreating that moment of bringing a musical bear to life, but how? William was smart, without a doubt, and he had a keen mind for business, but he wasn't the most creative. How do you make a singing, dancing bear come to life? The best he could do was using rudimentary costumes. William was inspired by the work of Walt Disney, who throughout the 50s and 60s was pioneering the use of mascot suits throughout his theme park. The big innovation? Suits with 5 fingers. This allowed the performers wearing the suits to use their natural arms and hands to interact with the guests, as opposed to the older models where the arms would just hang limply by their sides. Finally, with a simple mascot suit, he would be able to realize his childhood dream. He would be able to bring Fredbear to life. To appeal to the kids, and for copyright reasons, he changed Fredbear from a realistic brown animal to a cartoonish yellow bear with a purple hat and bow tie. But feeling like one character wasn't enough, he added another friend, a yellow rabbit with a purple vest and matching tie named Bonnie the Bunny. Well,
really quick test subject. Thank you so much for the $5. Hey, Dan and John, have you two ever looked into the shadow animatronics, or who or what are they? You answer that question while I go grab the encyclopedia. I'm gonna need that.
Sure. So, the shadowy I almost just spoiled it. The shadow animatronics, I believe, are just shadowy remnant or dark remnant. That is what modern FNAF lore would like us to believe. I have a suspicion that they might be tied to, because shadowy remnant is built on negative emotions. So something bad must have happened with those characters, and obviously if it's Freddy and Bonnie, it could be Fredbear and Spring Bonnie, the two characters that something bad happened with them. Fredbear with the bite, Spring Bonnie with William Afton. I think they are just the that dark remnant, those bad memories, those bad emotions manifesting into physical visions or actual things in real life that you can see.
Yeah, because okay, I purchased this. I just needed everyone to know that I purchased this thing for this exact reason. Is like, because what his name is. It's reversed on camera, but like it's really weird, and it does say here, like in his profile, it says in special delivery he spawns if you collect too much dark remnant. So
yes,
inherently we at least know that, Go ahead.
I'm such a lore nerd.
No,
In the
keep
book,
going.
it says that it implies that Shadow Bonnie could be trying to help us, because I believe in the Ultimate Guide it says that it questions Shadow Bonnie showing up in FNAF AR when you collect too much Dark Remnant. And it says, is he attacking you, or is he there to protect you as like a warning?
Interesting.
So it's debatable if the shadow animatronics mean well, or if they don't mean well. But yeah, they're very interesting. I think they're like the most up in the air. Like no one has really talked about them very much in like the broader lore community. So I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, to me, the shadow animatronics are the closest thing to being just like a straight up Easter egg, and that is it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's even mentioned in this that his appearance in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 was an Easter egg. There's because I've been working on my big FNAF breakdown of like the game and how it like built everything, and at this point in time in Scott's development, if he thought something was neat or kind of spooky or weird, he would put it in there because he like
I think there was yep go ahead, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like if you look at a lot of his developing habits, he prioritizes gameplay mechanics and atmosphere sometimes over the lore. That has since shifted. It's very early on that's like that. Now it is not. Now that he's made literally every Easter egg into something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's on him.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of, yes, you're right. I think there was a lot of adding things because it's spooky and then trying to implement it into the lore somehow. And I think I related Shadow Bonnie to being related to William Afton and how he used the Spring Bonnie suit, but Shadow Bonnie is Toy Bonnie. So it's like the connection isn't one, but like I also thought that maybe could stand for like Toy Bonnie did the Bite of 87 in some way, but I don't know.
It's tough to tell. It just is.
Yeah.
Especially with the early games.
But Dying Star sent $5. Thank you for helping with Dan plumbing. So is that why Jerica became a shadow monster? She absorbed too much Dark Remnant. I don't know what that's in reference to.
That's my lore. So Jerica is my editor on the channel, but she's also a game theory editor. I don't think she ever got assigned to the FNAF timeline. Well, spared her. But she turned dark because I wouldn't stop covering FNAF fan games. So it's more of a
fair enough.
More of a broken mental capacity than it is evil stuff.
That'll do it.
Yep. Also, Film Fanatics, thank you so much for the 2-month membership. Let's go. Wait, Inception in Scott's brain for the timeline. Let's do it. So now we're mind heisting. Great. Okay.
Yep.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
Same. I agree.
All right. Let's keep going.
Fredbear was certainly his first love. Bonnie was extra special because that was his. It was an original character that he had created from scratch. And I do mean scratch.
That's why I paused there. Specifically, I wanted to point out, it has always been weird to me. I mean, now it makes a lot more sense, but it's always been weird to me that Five Nights at Freddy's, like literally Freddy is in the title of the game. And up until Security Breach, it always felt that Bonnie was more important than Freddy sometimes.
Yeah.
I always...
I would attribute that to Scott thinking that Bonnie is the scariest animatronic out of all of them. So he kind of just ran with that one.
Yeah.
But if anyone's had the spotlight the most out of the Freddys, it's Golden Freddy.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I do agree. Like the OG FNAF 1 Freddy has nothing really going on.
Yeah, he's just there.
Yep.
1 sec. Okay, cool. Test subject with another $5. But why did Shadow Freddy help Afton, but Shadow Bonnie help the souls? They're so confused. Wait, Shadow Freddy helps Afton?
Yes, in the FNAF 3 minigames, you have to follow Shadow Freddy to go and get dismantled by Afton when he comes out of the room and takes the animatronics apart.
Oh, right.
That's another thing where I think it says somewhere in the Ultimate Guide or somewhere that is Shadow Freddy helping Afton, or is he trying to warn us of what he's doing?
See, I've always believed it to be he was trying to show like, hey, something's going on.
Yes.
And then Afton would intercept. It never felt to me like he was leading him to Afton. It always felt like, hey, if we get out of these suits, we can get this guy now. So
yes, that's the big question I think that no one really thought about, because everyone thought, oh yes, Shadow Freddy's helping Afton, but it's like the books come out and it's like, oh, are they helping him or are they actually trying to help you? And it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Love being ambiguous in his book that is supposed to tell you everything so well.
It seems like such a non-consequential part of the lore that I don't think anyone's really taken the time to try and piece it together, because I don't know, the shadow animatronics are weird in that way.
Yeah. All right. Jump back in. Let's do this.
William's hand-sewn costumes were rough, with seams and stitches visibly showing, but it was the best that he could do. And you know what? It was just enough. Bonnie and Fredbear would perform on stage to small but enthusiastic crowds. Finally, he was able to deliver fantasy and fun to all the kids, delighting and inspiring them in the exact way that he had been delighted and inspired so many years ago. And things could have ended there.
I did see this was my worry as we were starting to do this, is that I would start catching editing errors.
What happened?
Oh, God, I should have caught this.
Been delighted in its
cursor. The cursor just randomly shows up for a minute and then leaves. No!
I didn't even notice that.
No. These things slip by. It's hard to have a perfect product on YouTube because YouTube doesn't let you sit and like look over and over. Oh, Jay, you saw it. Then why didn't you call it out? God. Now I blame Jay. Now the cursor Yes, it was an Easter egg. There you go.
Well, that just ruined the whole video for me.
Oh. Sorry, guys.
Inspired so many years ago, and things could have ended there. That could have been the end to his story. It could have been perfect had it not been for one thing. Other people saw the success of his idea, and they wanted in. Enter Chica's Party World, a rival restaurant starring performing animal characters. His idea, except they did it better. William may have been the first, but obviously he wasn't the best. It hurt the prideful William Afton to admit it, but this restaurant was able to do the thing that he always wanted to do: make the animals actually come to life. All of the performers in this restaurant were robots, simple metal skeletons that were powered by battery packs, but all of them able to freely turn and talk and dance on their own, no human required. It was like magic that came from the mind of a brilliant creator named Henry Emily.
There he is. There's the guy. I'm trying to stop at like key points, and at this point in time, we're going so slow through this, but it's fine. We're just here to chat and chat about this.
We're just here to chat.
Dying Star. Things could have ended there, but then Afton felt the strange desire to give children pile drivers. Wow. FNAF, baby. So now we're to Henry.
Yeah.
A lot.
I mean, I could talk about the lore. Go ahead.
No, you go. I was just going to mention that the fact that I feel like a lot of this part was stuff that we really pulled from when we watched, or when we did the Chuck E. Cheese lore theories over on Food Theory. That's when we started diving into how Chuck E. Cheese and was like, okay.
Yes.
There was a lot to take from that.
Yep. Chica's Party World is interesting to me, because I think Chica's Party World has to do with Funtime Chica, from Sister Location. because in the teaser we get for Ennard, the schedule for the animatronics that are going out every day. Oh, baby's out this day, baby's in this day, whatever.
Yeah.
There's also a list under that of the people working with the rental service, and Chica's Party World is working with the Funtime rental service. So I don't think it would make sense for Chica's Party World to happen this early in the timeline. But then again, Sister Location seems to have happened way earlier than we originally thought.
It's hard.
I don't know.
It's hard. Sister Location's such a weird one. Like,
it is.
Like, the fourth game really threw a wrench in the lore for like that original. Was it? It's not a trilogy. It's whatever, the first four that was supposed to be. That were pretty much self-contained, and that threw everything out with, oh, it was just a coma dream, kind of being like one of the solutions. And like we did do a whole theory about, is it dream theory or is that? And then of course that was the infamous stream where Scott himself started posting teasers, trying to lead us in a direction.
Yep.
And so, but yeah, then when Sister Location came out, it was like, nope, not a coma. Everything is taking place at this is all canon. It's like, okay, great.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I always thought that was the thing I thought too. I always thought that Chica's Party World was like a spin-off from the Freddy Fazbear's. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think there's enough evidence to show that the Sister Location animatronics, the Funtime animatronics, were around way earlier than we originally thought. There's a fire truck outside.
Yeah, this time I hear it. We didn't hear it.
Okay, great. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
But the Funtime animatronics were around way earlier than we thought. It is so loud. Oh my gosh.
It's only coming in and out.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. But yeah, Chica's Party World, I think it's just Funtime Chica, and that's why we don't see her in Sister Location, is because she was at her own pizzeria. It was just kind of a spin-off of the Funtime animatronics, but it's just, we never hear about it ever again. So it's like such a, and I also had this theory that like Chica has the orange colors, and her color palette is different than the original Funtime animatronics. So like she has the same color palette as like Lolbit in Sister Location.
Oh, right. So
like her and Lolbit could have been a part of that Chica's Party World location. And I also had a theory that there was an older version of Funtime Freddy that was more golden or more orange. And that's what the Yendo endoskeleton is the old golden version of Funtime Freddy. So all of them together were Chica's Party World.
Interesting. That makes sense.
I don't
know. It does make sense. Like piecing that all together. It's like, that's the thing with FNAF lore, is that like, if you take little tiny pieces at a time, you can piece together like tons of stuff.
Yep.
Like here, Chica's Party World was like way early, and then but also it could have just been more of a spin-off with Chica as the headliner. It's like, it's hard.
Yeah.
As we said during the Let's Teach Bridget about FNAF lore, it's unclear.
It's unclear.
Also, Bamboa, hello. Also, so quick shout out to Shannon, because she also just joined the theory team as an assistant editor. So, some hype in the chat, please.
No way! Mm-hmm. Congrats! That's so cool.
Yeah, now I'm doubly her boss.
Oh.
So even though I haven't given her anything to work on for my channel in like multiple months, it's fine. let's
Oh my gosh.
let's keep going.
This Henry,
Okay.
in some small way, had been able to harness the power of life itself. Afton admired him. He was jealous, to be sure, but he also looked upon this man with awe. Off to one side of Chica's party world was a small cabaret stage featuring an elephant magician. On the other, a hippo known to ramble on and on. That one was more of a joke for the parents, but it was the main stage that was for the kids. A rocking band of characters featuring a yellow chicken thing with a southern drawl named Chica, backed by a band of other country-themed characters, including a pig with a banjo, an upbeat frog from the local swimming hole, and a brown bear with a heavy southern accent. Wait, a bear? But bears were his animals. Why not a cow or a horse? Something to fit the country theme a bit better. Why did it have to be a bear? And adding insult to injury, they had the nerve to call this thing Ned Bear, a direct copy of his own Fredbear.
Whoops, that's gonna leave a mark.
No, that was not okay.
This was the interesting find. I was there when they started piecing this together.
Yeah.
This particular thing with the Mediocre Melodies, because they were the weirdest ones of just being like, oh, they could just be a joke of being like, hey, it's just knockoff Fredbear and Friends.
Yeah. But I love that theory. Oh my gosh. The theory about these are Henry's animatronics, he built them, connecting them to figuring out which animatronics Henry built in the franchise, the thing with the battery packs on the ground. Yeah, I love that theory.
Yeah, I was just switching over to the Mediocre Melodies in the book to see if I but yeah, like them actually being like pieces to the entire puzzle is significantly more interesting than just a joke. And I do think that, yes, initially, if you look at the surface level of these characters, they are supposed to be like, oh, those are just knockoffs. But as you start to like dig deeper, you're like, oh, no, these are something.
Yep.
And so finding how the animatronics' mouths move, I know was a big thing for us.
Yep. I agree.
And here's a little inside fact. I almost led both of them astray.
Uh-oh.
We were talking about this and trying to figure out because we couldn't find like a good image of them. So I was on YouTube searching. I'm like, oh, hey, they're in FNAF AR. No, it was a fan. There were fan remakes, and they were like, hey, Dan, is that a fan asset? And I'm like, whoops.
Oh, no.
My bad.
There are so many fan-made FNAF AR things.
It's ridiculous. Their shorts are everywhere. It's
everywhere.
Crazy.
And they're so good. They're so good, and they're so convincing.
Yeah, like Scott, hire them.
It's wild.
Or Steel Wool. Steel Wool. You got a pool right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome for almost ruining everything.
Yeah.
Afton's jealous admiration turned to hardened bitterness. A bitterness that would only grow over the next couple of years as families continued to choose Chica's party world over Fredbear's. William just couldn't compete with the appeal of the robots. Eventually, his restaurant would go bankrupt, only to get bailed out by, of course, Henry Emily. Another insult, another humiliation that William wouldn't soon forget. 1979.
And that's something that because there was an interview with Steel Wool where they said they wanted to do a game with Fredbear's Family Diner.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is where I think we kind of really latched on because they were like, oh, we want to make, the best horror villains are victims themselves. Yeah. I think was the quote. And so
wait,
it was something like
Steel
that.
Wool?
I don't know if it was Steel Wool or if someone said it somewhere else, but I do know that like it was the whole thing of being like, like there was something about a good villain has been hurt themselves, and so like.
Oh yes, that was J-Top saying that the best villain is the person who the best villain has to have the best motivations
Yeah.
and the best reason why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
If your villain just is doing stuff just to do it, it doesn't mean anything. But
And I mean,
Yeah.
that was Afton for a very long time. It was like when
Yes.
he was purple guy, it was like, oh yeah, he bad guy.
yep.
He bad guy. I don't know what to tell you.
Why he bad guy?
We'd love to know why bad guy.
And I think this part of the theory is trying to explain why he bad guy.
Yes, that was the goal. Is I think that was one of the, especially with the first one, that's what we really set out to do, is to set up like, here's why he become bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's very important.
Despite being bitter, Afton couldn't deny that what came next was a period of massive success and expansion. With the two franchises now merged into one, it was the best of both worlds. Afton's ideas with Henry's robotic expertise. The two men decided to launch under a new name, Fredbear's Family Diner, a pizza chain that would eventually come to feature a mix of humans in performing suits as well as on-stage animatronics. They decided to stick with Fredbear as the headliner, considering the yellow bear was easily identifiable as a brand and because he was the original performing animal mascot. Afton appreciated that. This new restaurant would also see a mix of characters as the two franchises merged into one, with Pig Patch and Happy Frog performing right alongside Fredbear and Bonnie. And as part of this one big Fredbear family, they even got themselves official merch that were released, ranging from masks to magnets.
Just really quick, one thing that has always bothered me as an editor doing FNAF stuff is the closest thing we have to a untouched spring lock suit has been Glitch Trap's costume as far as an official asset is concerned. I would know because I've had to reject so many times. I'm like, hey, we can't use this asset. It's a fan-made thing.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
And if you can't answer it, then that's fine. What is stopping you from hiring someone to make you models?
I would love to answer that question, and I can answer that question.
Oh,
But I can't do it on stream. That's an NDA.
awesome, great.
Yeah, can't say anything about that. That's an NDA thing. Otherwise, I'd just tell you.
Sounds great. I'll leave it up to my imagination.
Crappy Mr. Hippo fridge magnet?
That said, not all the characters were winners. The reception to some characters was just mediocre, so they faded away into the dumpster, storage units, and retro budget tech stores of lost nostalgia, waiting for their chance to step back into the limelight if and when a headliner went out of commission.
Is that an official asset? I guess.
No.
Okay. Well, no, this newspaper thing. I don't remember.
Yes.
So they did
That is
make
at the
Hippo.
end. That's one of the endings in Security Breach.
Okay.
I believe it's the ending where Gregory. It's the fire escape ending where Gregory drives the van. out
Oh,
of the
right. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it. No,
Yep.
This particular asset here, this one here is a straight pull from the game. We just pulled the model from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have a couple people on the team that are capable of getting some of that. One of our guys, Sedge, who is a literal god of editing. He is just a god. The reason we had any Glitch Trap assets from the beginning is because he went and just straight pulled Glitch Trap from the game and reposed them in whatever he needed. So like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, Jay, I pulled 75 Security Breach models last week.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Hi, Ash.
Hi, Ash. Yeah, because for you guys that don't know, Jay Skibine also makes games on the side. Boofy's Bunker is an absolute masterpiece, and he'll deny that all he wants, but shut up.
Oh, that's
So he's fully capable in putting this stuff, or like pulling these things and making it work. So kudos to him. I think we might be.
That's awesome.
I think we're in his section now. I think we've left.
Oh.
I think we've left Tyler's and now we're
mission.
in
Others, though, would fare much better, like a new pirate fox, as well as a blue guitar-playing variant of the yellow Bonnie Bunny. Ultimately, the franchise would get so big, it would spawn its own cartoon show, Fredbear and Friends. Business was booming. In the end, Fredbear and Bonnie's popularity would be so strong that they would be able to support the Fredbear's Family Diner franchise all on their own, while also spinning off a new sister location dedicated to their friends. In 1983, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza launched, giving a dedicated home to all this new supporting cast of characters. Chica the Chicken, Bonnie the Blue Bunny, Foxy the Pirate, and of course the headliner, a brown Freddy Fazbear. Business was good, and Afton was happy, mostly. It did bother him that the one original character that he created, the one that he himself played, Golden Bonnie, got passed over for inclusion in that cartoon show. The only character in the roster of regulars to get ignored for the show, but other than that, things were going smoothly. He had himself a wife, 2 sons, a daughter, he had a thriving business, and best of all, he was able to learn the craft of robotics from the man that he both loved and hated, Henry. Together, they were constantly pushing the limits of what these characters could do. Because it was quick and easy, new characters introduced into the roster would be given a simple hand-sewn suit with 5 fingers that any performer could wear. Eventually, Henry would design one of his signature.
I love seeing all the glitch trap bodies with just the heads of the various animatronics.
That's amazing. It's so funny.
Oh, I love it. Oh, yeah. Jay also did Lanky Lonky. Sorry. That's... Look. I love Jay's games so much.
Oh, I need to check them out.
You should. You should. I mean, he's probably going to say, no, don't.
Too bad.
Oh, we're in Pedro's section. We're in Pedro's section. I think Jay might be at the end then.
Animatronics for that character, utilizing a divided mouth with either a hinged or sliding jaw design. This was the first generation of animatronics. But why stop there? Afton had big ideas. What if the animatronics weren't just locked to the stage, but could freely roam the restaurant and interact with the kids? What if his mascot suits could become animatronics? What if you could use more than just rigid metallic skeletons? Why not experiment with tubes and wires that would give the animatronics fluidity and flexibility while still providing structure?
So I'm just going to really quickly point it out because I feel chat's going to point it out if I don't mention this. So, yes, there is this Springtrap asset that we have from the books. So technically we did have an asset, but we didn't have an in-game asset, and that's what was important.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, no, I did. I could have said nothing. I could have said nothing.
What if you could use more than just rigid metallic skeletons? Why not experiment with tubes and wires that would give the animatronics fluidity and flexibility while still providing structure? The possibilities for this technology were endless. Afton fell in love with robotics. He had started with a dream of bringing one simple singing bear to life, but with robots, he had stumbled across the tools that gave him the ability to control life itself. And thanks to Henry, he was practically speedrunning his way to an engineering degree. And while William wouldn't admit it out loud, one other thing that kept pushing him forward was the desire to beat his former rival, to prove himself smarter and more capable, to surpass the man who everyone else considered to be a visionary genius. But pride cometh before the fall, and tragedy was about to strike. Okay, so that brings...
So there's the first. This is the first, and I think like it's this one and the last one that I think are probably the biggest jumps that we had to make, and a lot of it is just because it's unclear. So
It's just a theory.
it's just guys, it's just a theory.
All it is.
I do want to quickly before because I think we'll jump to the fourth one because I want to make sure we touch on that one before we're done.
Sure.
But I wanted to watch my section so you guys can be like, wow, Dan, that was really good. And I can be like, thanks, man.
Let's do it.
This is the praise Dan section of the stream. I expect hand claps and emojis.
Yay.
But
Let's
also
go.
but also I personally was just really proud of this section. It was when you're going from theory to theory to theory to theory, there are just some theories that are just like, it's hard to push through because it's just like, you're doing it every week. But this one sucked me in, and I really went much further than I normally do. So
out of his room to
go.
check the gravesite and ensure that his
part 2 or 3.
This is part 2.
Okay.
I worked on part
brother
2.
was still there. As for William himself, he disappeared
my
into his
section
work
here.
and his drinks. Junior's, the local bar, wasn't far from his son's gravesite. He found himself going there more and more frequently, spending longer and longer amounts of time there. The bar gave him a place to think, to remember, to reflect and stew on how Henry had stolen his idea for an animal-themed restaurant, how they'd cut his character out of the cartoon when everyone else was there, how Henry had humiliated him by buying him out of bankruptcy, and now there was his son. Henry had taken his son from him. The robotic part was the part that failed, after all. William ordered one more drink, but it was one too many. The bar turned him out and told him to go home. But William didn't go home. Drunk and angry, William raced back to the restaurant to give Henry a piece of his mind, only to find someone else waiting. Henry's daughter, Charlie, locked outside of the building, bullies laughing at her through the window. Fine, some other problem to fix. But then Afton got an idea. A beautifully awful idea. This was his chance to get back at the man that had humiliated him all those years ago. Henry had killed his business, and now Henry's robotic suit had killed his son. It was time for William to do some killing of his own. Let Henry feel what it's like to have something you love get ripped away. While parties continued inside the walls of the pizzeria, William attacked Charlie in the back alley. It felt good. He felt free. The years of resentment and bitterness trapped in his heart finally released in a moment of pure unapologetic evil. He would make Henry hurt like he hurts. And in that moment, William became a killer. He dropped Charlie's lifeless body and drove home, forced to confront his family problems later that night, appalled, but also a little excited by what he had just done.
So yeah, that was my laugh.
That was sick.
There are certain like voice acting like little things that I get to do every now and then, and when I get to like unleash like that, it's hard to, it's like I just get into character and I'm just gone. That was one of those situations. Yep. The lazy is it Engibot? Thank you so much for the €1. Huge appreciation.
That was sick. You're talented in so many ways. It's really I look up to you a lot. Awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It was great. I specifically remember watching that part and being like, "Wow, this is good. This is good." I'm not just saying that. The bar part, I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
There's certain moments like where the vision is just so clear on what you're gonna visualize, and that's why it's this particular section that I did, and then back when we did a Deltarune episode, I did a section. I'm very proud of that one because it was the first time that there were absolutely no notes. It was just Matt going, "This section's great, post."
Oh.
So, like those two things where the vision is so clear, and you can you can really tell when we jump in, because there are really hard, like Food Theory is a very, very hard show to do, because to make that sort of stuff visually interesting without having like themes of like, oh, FNAF, we're doing horror stuff. This is like Food Channel stuff, and sometimes presenting tons of like food products and that stuff is really hard to make, to get like this sort of detail that we can get here. So this was just a moment that like the bar scene was the first, like I read it and I was like, I know exactly what I'm doing for that. Just exactly what it was.
Yeah, it just little details that you didn't need to put in, but it made it feel special, like the glass sliding into frame, like stuff like that. It just makes it feel so special.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And it was just like Tyler's section where we noticed the quarters were from 1924.
Yes.
Editing is about pacing and the details, where we spend, I think that bar scene took me 3 hours.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this stuff takes a long, long time. So
I literally cannot imagine.
Yeah. Real quick, the Dragon Tail, thank you so much for the $2. All hail Dan and his godlike editing. Thank you, but I mean, I appreciate everyone saying how much they like this section, but also like Tyler and Jay, man, and both Pedro and Warak and like everyone just did such a good job piecing this thing together. Just like incredible.
Oh yeah.
Let's get controversial.
Sure.
Let's go. I'm sure this is going to be a major talking point for the talk back whenever Matt schedules that.
It's gonna be the point probably.
So I am so ready to because before we started streaming, we had both of us had thoughts on it, because at the end of the day, while we may both be FNAF boys, sometimes Matt and Tom just run off with their own ideas, and there's just nothing we can do about it.
Yep.
I mean, those two have read the books way more than I ever have.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the thing, is like having to use the books is hard as like a evidence point.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Because you kind of lose people, because it's more engaging, and if you use things that people already are aware of and already have in the back of their minds as evidence, but pulling something like, oh, because it said it in the book that you probably didn't read, it suddenly becomes less believable because you yourself probably haven't immersed yourself into the books.
Yeah.
Not you, but the
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's also one of these things where it's hard to, in the fact that the books could have been a whole separate thing, but then Scott said one thing about how like people that are into the franchise need to pay attention because the books might clear some stuff up, and then it's like, okay, great. Now all of these books somehow mean something, and where does they like?
In fact, he said that about the main trilogy books, the first 3 that came out, that these books will help solve lore from the past games.
Mm-hmm.
But he said about the Fazbear Frights books that those books, some of them will be directly connected to the games, and some of them will not.
Yeah. So
it's just kind of like, okay, well, guess we'll have to see which ones connect.
Yeah, all right. So chat altogether, it's unclear. Thank you, chat.
It's unclear.
It's unclear.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
Sure.
Hello, Internet. Welcome.
Also, how's the volume for chat? I realize that I think you and I have our audios dialed in, but I don't know, chat, if you're hearing this correctly. So.
Welcome to Game Theory, and the final part of my FNAF timeline, where today we're bringing our story to a close by talking about the most complicated and controversial part of the timeline, the part that I've been dreading most of all, the end. The moment where we're finally forced to come to some definitive and difficult answers trying to explain what the heck we were watching in Security Breach. The last 2 episodes have been about death. The death of Afton's family, the deaths of multiple children, the death of the franchise itself as Mike and Henry figuratively and literally burn it all down. Today's episode, though, and the current end of this franchise, is instead all about rebirth, the return of old characters in new forms, and the controversial rebirth of a franchise entering the next era of its story. But before we hop into the timeline, due to scheduling...
Okay, yeah, we don't need to talk about the... I mean, we were right. It was going to be controversial.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked a little bit about this before stream, but I also just kind of think that we're just working with incomplete information at this point in time.
For sure.
Like, I think we both agree that the DLC is gonna clear a lot of things up. Fingers crossed.
Yes.
But it's definitely like I think it's hard. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting way ahead of myself.
To our story. Fazbear Entertainment was dead.
There is no need for you to return to work next week, as Fazbear Entertainment is no longer a corporate entity.
All debts had been paid, all assets redistributed. The company was outright dissolved. Even the memories of the horrors that had happened there started to fade away in the public consciousness.
I'm really happy about this one particular thing because I think it was one of the things that I pointed out when I was
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, hey, what happens to all of the like assets and all that sort of stuff? And that's what kind of like it was the small part that I helped. I mean, Tom and Matt really took it the rest of the way. But like finding like the fact that the company dissolves completely and then is reborn, it's very much like, who has those assets? Where are they going?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a theory coming out that about this that's interesting. That I think maybe this happened way earlier than we originally thought.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Also, William Dave Afton. We'll see you later. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, William.
So glad. Okay, now that Purple Guy's gone,
Yeah.
I feel relief.
Yeah, me too.
But I do like whoever ended up holding and I'll be interested to see what your video is when it comes out. But like I've always held on to like whoever took control of those assets, I really felt was going to be is like definitely the person pulling the strings, and it's just figuring out who that is. But there's also this small chance that everything Freddy Fazbear's was auctioned off. It's a potential that like they all went like, all right, we're shutting down. Here's a liquidation sale. Who wants our IP? And just like, they sold it to someone, and then maybe it could have been someone that it's hard. Like this thing is so hard, and I think there's a lot of pressure to solve it when all the pieces aren't there yet.
No, you're right. At the end of FNAF 3, the newspaper says the few items that were salvaged will be sold at public auction. And it is revealed in FNAF 6 that FNAF 6 happens directly after FNAF 3.
Yeah. So
FNAF FNAF 3, the pizzeria, the horror attraction burns to the ground. All of the stuff gets auctioned off to somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So partly. So we had to look this up. Is that say for whatever reason, like Disney just starts absolutely failing, and they have to dissolve the company. When they dissolve it, what happens first is investors. So big stock owners, the board, all of them, they get any debts that they had with the company are immediately resolved first. And that's either through cash or it's through distribution of company assets. Company assets being things like, like animatronics from some of the rides or the IP itself. So that's when we were like, okay, so when Fazbear closed down, first thing they did is everyone that wanted out got paid and they were gone. Anyone that wanted to take IP that were investors in FNAF could have taken IP.
Yes.
So that was what we were kind of rolling with, is that if I was a board member of a company where everyone was being murdered, I'd want out so quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
So I would liquidate anything and just go. So the thing is like if there's anything left over, next of kin also can inherit stuff, and that's why I think in one theory we pitched Elizabeth being one, which was strange. Like their logic made sense. It's a take. I mean, these are all takes, and this one was just like, this might be it. So, jumping ahead a bit, was there a part in the theories I missed where it was explained that why Miss Afton isn't Ballora? Okay, let's get to the reveal and then we'll talk about it.
The people were gone.
I don't think they ever
William
talked
was
about
dead. Henry was gone. A whole generation of young Emilys and Aftons had lost their lives to the horrors of the pizzeria. All of them collateral damage to the man in the bunny suit. Everyone the company had ever touched was dead and gone. Well, all except one.
Pay your child support, you deadbeat! I'm keeping the diamond ring. I also set the house on fire!
Clara Afton. She'd been there in the early days, back when things with William were good. They'd had the perfect home, a thriving business, the ideal family. But shortly after their youngest son died, things started to change.
So, yeah, the big take is going like, it was Afton's wife that took over, because she's still alive. And the thing is, that
just can't be the case.
But possibly, I don't know. The thing is you never is there true confirmation she dies? Because FNAF is pretty good about pointing out who dies and who lives. But then again, no, it doesn't at the same time, you know?
If she's alive, she's at least 90 or 100.
Oh, you're right.
Because security breach took place in 2035.
Yeah. Oh, she would be
That's the main gripe I have. And also the other main problem with this is I think the therapy tapes in security breach insinuates that she
is gone.
Is gone now. So I don't know. The CEO thing is something that I haven't really thought about because I never really thought it was important. But obviously the books are pointing it out a lot, so obviously it must be important.
Yeah. It's got to be important.
The only person that could really be alive is Michael.
Yes.
Because he was injected with Remnant, he is now immortal. So unless some way he survived the FNAF 6 fire and took over everything for some reason, I don't know. It's unlikely because I think he possesses Glamrock Freddy. It's a whole thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. Is I know this part is definitely the most controversial part of like this whole timeline. I also do think that it is a very neat narrative thing. But it doesn't match up to the lore. Unless
not to be this person.
Yeah, go ahead.
But even narratively, the fact that she was like, I hate what my husband did to my family. My husband destroyed the family, and now I want to bring him back to life. It's like
I struggled with that too. It does take. It does.
It's like she's doing exactly what her husband did.
Yeah.
To bring her family back.
I think there was just it needed to be phrased a little different, but
no. Everything's valid because there's no right answer.
Yeah. You want to know something? I'm going to make a call right now. Dan's 100% call out on who the CEO is with just absolutely taking a stab in the dark.
I'm ready.
It's Phone Dude.
Phone Dude.
Where'd he go? His literal Fazbear Frights burns down and he's just like, oh, I guess that's it. I would love to see that phone guy. This is the thing that's
wait.
Yeah, I know. Things are starting to line up.
if he's behind Fazbear Frights, he must have gotten the rights to the company in some way, right? Like, he couldn't have just done that without having permission.
Oh, no, you're right.
So if...
Okay, so hear me out, too. This has always been the thing that has bothered the hell out of me about FNAF 3. Did you seriously just go grab an animatronic with a decaying corpse in it and go, yeah, I'm going to put that in an attraction? That has always bugged me. Always. But if he knew and didn't care,
I think it's unlikely, but I think it's a great observation.
I think, yeah, that's the thing is, again, in a vacuum, it's a very good idea. It's a very good idea. But as soon as you start opening it up and the context starts flooding in, you're like, oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe he's just some dude bro that saw an opportunity. Because, again...
That's a great theory. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, he, like you said, at the end of 3... everything gets auctioned off, so he probably could have bought the rights and then auctioned them right back off.
Oh.
Henry definitely tipped off Phone Dude.
Henry tipped off Phone Dude?
Yeah, because if Henry's... In FNAF 6, the whole idea was to get all of them together and burn everything down.
Yes.
And so in FNAF 3, they find the secret thing. Hold on. I'm Hyperdroid. Hello. Welcome.
Take it.
Okay. So, all right. Roll with me. Okay.
I'm
So
rolling with you.
if you're Michael, right? And you're the security, assuming that Michael's the security guards for all the original games.
Okay.
Like the first 6, like he's the one that goes from place to place to place, trying to hunt down. He gets hired on to Fazbear Frights without anyone in here, or like without any like. Afton wasn't there yet. He didn't know. Like he just went, oh, Fazbear Frights, I better go be a security guard to stop my dad, but why would he have gone at that particular time?
I may be writing a theory right now about that, but we'll see.
Oh, okay.
And I think you're gonna have to erase some things and rewrite some things. But yeah, it is interesting. Why would the person go to Fazbear Frights? I have no idea.
Oh, he knows. Okay.
I know for a fact what happens in FNAF 3. Like, it is undeniable. The video is, whenever I type it, my keyboard lights on fire. Like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Not to like plug my own whatever. Subscribe today and like this live stream, please. Do all that stuff.
Smash that like button.
If my people are here, go do your thing. Do the things. But yeah, it's the Phone Dude thing. Wow.
Is it right?
How did he? Who did he even ask? How do you get permission? Did Scott think about that? That's such a game theory thing because MatPat always talks about legality and the next of kin and the LLC versus the full-on corporation. It's like that is a great thing to talk about of how Fazbear Frights could have even become a thing. And is Phone Guy a bigger part of this? And did he make the Pizzaplex?
I mean, potentially. I mean, if Henry's holding on to the rights and he's hunting down, if he's trying to find the he's trying to find Afton, or he's afraid that they're going to dig him up, or anything like that. I mean, he could you could always license things. That is always an
Yeah.
option. You could always license it, and I could see Henry licensing it because he needs money. Because especially if all of his entire franchise collapses to the ground. But I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I can't find Phone Dude. Where are you, Phone Dude?
He's not in it.
He's not in here?
Phone Guy's not in there either.
But those are characters.
They are. Michael Afton's not in it. Cassidy's not in it. You know.
Great. Cool.
Yep.
Way to go.
But Radioactive Foxy, who is only in there because he's a Funko Pop, is in there. Or it's Blacklight Foxy or something like that.
That makes me upset. I'm deeply upset.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All of these. I will say the one thing that I really did like from this theory, and we're about to get there, but when we talk about FNAF AR, we'll pause there. Radioactive Foxy.
Yep. Oh, or it's Blacklight Foxy or
I think it's
Radioactive Foxy.
Blacklight Foxy. Oh yeah, it's Blacklight.
It's just like the T-posing toy character.
Yeah. There he is. Blacklight Foxy.
It says appearances none.
Appearance Funko Pop.
Great.
Well, I'll have more to say about the books when I'm working on my giant
great.
FNAF video. I found some stuff.
Ooh, you found some stuff. Let's go.
I found some stuff. Some very interesting dates. I actually have to I have to do a little bit of journalism and reach out to a company to confirm some dates, because if it's true, it's very interesting. It's some very interesting stuff. But let's keep going.
William had become distant, lost in his work, obsessive. She had watched him change from this irritatingly brilliant man that she had fallen in love with to a drunken monster struggling to hold himself together. And despite her trying to reach out to him in those desperate days, he was just too far gone.
Admit it, you wanted to let me in.
For her sake, she had to leave the relationship, and from there she largely faded into obscurity. A mystery from William's past, a footnote in his history, and that was fine for her. She wanted to leave that part of her life behind. She tried to move forward, never wanting to hear the name Freddy Fazbear again.
Yeah, and I think this exact moment here is where we kind of messed up with saying that she never wants to hear about FNAF ever again, and then suddenly jumping in like, I'll do it. I can. The reason I get on board is the fact that if she's going through Afton's old files rather than just burning them, she would potentially see that she could bring the crying child back, and her really latching onto it.
I think that's what happened with Michael.
Yeah, I think it's a sense of, oh, yeah, Afton was on to eternal life. Oh my God, I can bring my family back and we can live forever.
It's not because she wants. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. Go. Do it.
Oh, it's not because she obviously is traumatized by it. She doesn't want to, but she wants to bring her family back, so she'll do anything to bring them back. So she restarts it to do the stuff, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that point is something that we could have conveyed just a little better through, I don't know, through the editing or through the writing. But at this point in time, man, there were so many scripts in. I can just the exhaustion at that point.
Oh yeah.
Let's keep going.
a time defined by mistakes and broken promises. But then, the paperwork started to arrive. As Fazbear Entertainment began to close as a corporate entity, suddenly her mail was flooded with notifications, requests, obligations. She had been there since the beginning, helping William in the early days of his business, and now, as a shareholder and sole living member of the Afton family, all copyrights and trademarks of both Afton Robotics and Fazbear Entertainment passed on to her. Memories of this past life that she had long left behind. Looking at the blueprints, the contracts, the memos, she felt old wounds begin to reopen. The regrets of a happy family that had been torn away from her. William had always been brilliant. That's what had attracted her to him in the first place. But he'd also been too blinded by obsession and pride. He was too jealous, too petty, too unable to actually see a bigger picture. But now, holding the paperwork that contained decades of heartbreak and trauma, she realized it was her turn. She was
Yeah, here I think we just should have phrased it a little different with saying she looked at it and went, "Oh, this is what he was doing."
This is what I...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Just like small rephrases make a world
sure.
of a difference.
Yeah.
holding the power. This was her chance, and one thought resonated in her head. I will put them back together. I will put them all back together. She would be the one to rebuild this family, to rebuild the pieces of that shattered life, to reclaim the kids that Fazbear had stolen from her. But how? Looking at William's work now laid out before her, she knew that he had been onto something, collecting remnant, robotic humanoids, digital conscience transference. The pieces were all in place, they were just scattered, fragmented. It was almost like there were too many ideas going in too many different directions. It was such an important idea that she reiterated that point to herself. There were too many ideas going in too many different directions.
That's just the entire theory team right now was just all of that was put into that one moment.
That's the second time he did that, I think. It was in the first video as well. He, like, broke the fourth wall. I love that.
Yeah, sometimes we just have to go, look, we're trying with what we have.
Yeah.
Just this moment of like, there's so many different things. So many.
It's crazy.
Wait, wouldn't Sammy Emily still be alive as well?
Well, Sammy Emily is technically not real.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
So maybe in the game, that's Sammy Emily's from the books. It was Charlie's twin brother that she misremembered, and he ends up not being real. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's
that's a really big leap because Sammy has never showed up in any of the games before. So that would just be basically a brand new character.
Yeah, we at least have confirmation of Charlie. Like,
yeah.
We absolutely have confirmation of her.
Yeah.
Because, like, through the FNAF 6 minigame, through the FNAF 6 ending, there's just not another character that like stands out. And I also think of like Ultimate Custom Night. Like, if it seems like all the Aftons are represented in some way, except for maybe Michael. No, wait, I'm wrong. Ignore me. Because it's all of the victims, but Laura's there. Baby's there, so that's 2 of the Aftons. But Crying Child. Oh, sometimes this franchise gives me a headache and I can't recover.
No, you're right. Michael isn't represented in Ultimate Custom Night.
Yeah. Is Crying Child, because he's... What's the consensus? He's the puppet or he's Golden... It's unclear.
He's Golden Freddy, he's Fredbear.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's maybe, but it's cast...
Or he could be Funtime Freddy. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh. You think you got something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Man. I'm not entirely sold on Mrs. Afton, but there's undeniably something fishy going on with the CEO. Yeah, I think so too. And I think we, like, again, when Matt does the talk back, I think that's the best time to get a good look into what we were thinking. Like, obviously, even in this stream, we've pointed out a few problems, unless Afton was like maybe 40 and married a 20-year-old, which, I mean, isn't... I don't know about that. It happens, but like, again, it's a big leap. It is. So, like, she would definitely be 90 by this point.
Yeah.
And like, again, it's the thing with FNAF is like, you can twist and turn the lore to make a lot of things make sense, but we're not gonna know the answer until we heist the timeline from Scott.
Exactly.
So
we gotta make it happen.
So, I mean, for legal reasons, it's a joke.
Yeah. In a video
game. Let's keep going.
Said there had to be a way to save it all. She just needed to put it all back together. But how? To rebuild her family, she would first need to rebuild the franchise that had stolen them away from her. With ownership over the characters, their licenses, the technology patents, and the Fazbear name, she converted the corporation back to an LLC, a structure for smaller businesses that are usually family-owned. The irony was fitting. From there, she would need Remnant, and lots of it. Remnant was the key. Clearly, in the later years of his life, William had been using Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals as a remnant farm, sending robots to kids' birthday parties in the hopes of nabbing bits of the stuff here and there. But clearly, it wasn't enough. He had, what, like 4, maybe 5 animatronics going out every week? No. It was a decent idea, but to get the Remnant they required, it needed scale. Dozens, hundreds of animatronics, all out there, all gathering Remnant from unsuspecting customers. But to do that would require help, something William would never ask for. William had kept everything in-house. His obsession with control limited him. Clara, though, she wasn't nearly that precious. A plan like this required partners, people outside of Fazbear to do the heavy lifting. So she contacted a mid-sized delivery company, DLZ Shipping Solutions, to help build replicas of all the original animatronics. And with meal delivery apps being all the rage, why not an animatronic delivery service? Order one to celebrate your birthday, your Halloween party. How about a 4th of July?
I mean, I can count multiple reasons why an animatronic delivery service would probably not be ideal, but at the same time, we have to all bears are dead in this world, so you know.
Yeah. This part was well, not fishy. This whole chunk of the video is my theory.
Oh yeah.
I even coined the phrase remnant farm in my FNAF AR theory.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, it's fine. But yeah, I love that FNAF AR really, no one really paid attention to it because it was so goofy, but the fact that it actually makes sense, even after it's like dead now, it's like, it's Scott is either a genius or just, I have no idea, or something else.
I think especially this late into the game, because FNAF VR is my absolute favorite FNAF out of all of them. I think it's it's just so well done. It's got a very clear narrative within it. And so this idea of the remnant farm, it makes a lot of sense. I was really happy to see this, and now I'm even happier to know that it was from you. And I'll just put it here. Let's see. We had a couple super chats. Test subject 228. Could Shadow Freddy be the crying child? It would explain why he helped Afton. I don't think so. I think it's bold, but I don't think so. Mathtron 5000 with but also thank you for the $5. Mathtron with $5. Mrs. Afton would need to be 30 to 35 in 1983 for Michael to be old enough in FNAF 4, barring some weird stuff. So she would need to be 80. She would probably be 80 to 85 in Security Breach. Still, that's really old.
That's pretty old.
It's pretty old. I mean, I could, I mean, again, doesn't mean that she couldn't maybe have pulled it off, or I don't know, injected herself with Revenant. I don't know. Like, there's ways. Also, Cup of Tea EXE. Hello, welcome to stream. Nothing like making and shipping out a replica of your spring-trapped husband.
Literally. So weird.
Yeah, I just, what did it, the biggest interesting thing about FNAF to me is the absolute capitalistic dystopia that this world is. It's so interesting.
Oh, they just can't let the franchise go. They see dollar signs.
Yeah.
It's like wild capitalism.
Yeah.
They're doing a capitalism all over the place.
They're doing so much capitalism. It's ridiculous. It's disgusting, really.
Almost too much.
Whoa. Hey now. Let's see. We only got about 10 minutes left. I'm trying to think if there's anything we should fast forward to. I mean, we could talk about some Gregory.
Documentation that you could just download.
We're still on this Gregory is a robot thing.
This is breaking news for me. I'm kind of on the Gregory is not a robot.
I don't know what to think anymore. I just, because again, like, it makes sense that potentially he is a robot, but also it makes sense that, like, no, they're absolutely not.
The only thing that gets me is if Gregory is patient 46. Patient 46 had a great childhood with great parents.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think if anyone's a robot, it's Vanessa.
That could be.
I actually think Matt was right the first time with Elizabeth being the CEO.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
like that theory is crazy, but it kind of makes sense if you look at Sister Location. Because he was obviously trying to rebuild Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
He had the little bitty babs with Elizabeth's voice, and there was baby, and then you could bring up the fourth closets in the plush trap area of the game where there's the 4 doors.
Yeah.
And in the Funtime Freddy section of Sister Location, you see 4 dots in each of those closets, representing what we now know in the books as 4 versions of the same robot kid, which would be Elizabeth.
Yeah. Again, makes a lot. There's just so many ways it could go, and part of me thinks, what would have happened? Like, Security Breach came out to such a mess. It was just a buggy, disconnected mess. And that was the hardest thing to see, because after FNAF VR, which was just like so well put together, and then FNAF Security Breach was, they went way too big, in my opinion, and then like it got out of hand. I wonder if they were given more time and more resources, what would it have been like? Because I definitely feel like Scott's always one that, whenever it comes to deadlines, like, he hates having people wait for his games.
Yes.
He hates it so much. And so I can understand, one, like the fans going, we need Security Breach, and also Scott going, hey, they need Security Breach, and Steel Wool going, well, it's still got some bugs, but here we go.
Maybe that contract with Sony and PlayStation, like, hey, when is this game gonna come out? You know?
Oh, yeah.
One thing that I love Security Breach, and maybe it's just me because I'm stupid, but I think the really interesting thing to point out about Security Breach, and compared to older FNAF games, Scott FNAF games, is Scott would release a FNAF game, and within a week, people found everything. Like, it was done. This game has had such longevity, with like people finding things even a year after the game came out, people still having theories about it. Like, the longevity of this game is insane. And I think the environmental storytelling that they did saved this game as far as like longevity for theories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's what's been the most fun is like the environmental storytelling that they did and trying to figure out why some rooms are wrecked and why the post-it note room is there, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
don't know.
you are way too hard on yourself.
Oh, thanks.
You're way too hard on yourself. I mean,
guess.
you've been able to do some really great stuff with Security Breach.
Thanks. Half of it is wrong. I mean, most is wrong.
Hey,
but it was fun.
This is a compliment stream. Take the compliment.
Sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
I do think I just, for me, it felt like Security Breach, it needed another year in the oven. I think.
Oh yeah.
I think that's the main thing. That would have been great.
Yeah. And I think if you read GGY, and I recommend everyone reads GGY, even if you don't like the books, it's a good story. I struggle reading, and I got through it. But I think there is definitely some hints in GGY that Security Breach didn't come out exactly how Scott wanted it to. Yeah, I mean, there's the character named Tony who's an investigative reporter. He figures out that GGY has all the highest scores on the arcade machines, and he wants to write his school homework about the mystery of GGY, and why he has the highest scores on all the arcade machines. But Tony has 3 friends, and towards the end of the story, the three friends throughout the story are like, we don't want to do that. We want to change your story. We want to make it less believable and make it whatever. Like, they completely rewrote his story and made it bad. And they are literally called the story ruiners at the end of the book. So it's like, maybe Tony is Scott and friends are Fuel.
Yeah. Yes.
You read the story and you decide for yourself. I'm not saying anything. That's just what I kind of was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not true.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Scott is not subtle about his criticism. Like,
yeah.
I just recently played FNAF World for the first time.
Yeah.
And
oh,
that is one much more fun than I expected it to be.
Yeah.
But
it's cute.
The thing is like, he's not subtle about the fact of like, I'm so burnt out, and like him just kind of like venting through a game to be like, I am so tired of FNAF, guys. Why you keep making me do this? And like, he tends to do that a lot. He also did the whole thing about the theorist in one of the Fazbear books. I can't remember which one it was. It was like, she was literally a FNAF theorist and went to a location, and you know
yes.
the one. Yeah. And then there's also the ending of FNAF 4 with the box and saying maybe some things are just best unknown. He's very clear about his philosophy on storytelling, and he does tend to vent through his work. So I could see that very much being a thing.
I want your opinion on something before we wrap up.
Absolutely.
I've mentioned this. I've mentioned this before. I don't know if you've heard it, but I think I know what the box was supposed to be.
Really?
I think and it's so weird how I've never heard anyone say this, and I recently thought of this, like in the past 2 weeks, or when I was at Matt's. Let me pitch this.
Yeah.
Dream theory was supposed to be a thing.
Right.
Agreed?
Yes.
How did Scott reveal that to Matt on the stream? He said, "Why is the little toy Chica missing her beak?"
Yes, that was the big clue.
The crying child sees the toys and the plushies in his real life, and when you close the door on Foxy in FNAF 4 enough, he turns into a Foxy plushie.
Uh-huh.
The box was meant to be a toy box with the figures with the plushies in it, and it was supposed to confirm Dream Theory.
Oh, that's good.
And if you look up what a toy box looks like a trunk, it's a toy box, and it's locked because he's dead. Some things are best left forgotten for now. That is what started everything. It is now locked away.
Yeah, because if I was a parent whose kid just died, I would lock. I wouldn't want to get rid of them. Like throwing them away feels bad, but also like I don't want to look at them. Oh God.
Yeah,
that's good. And actually, I think
Hyperdroid. Don't make Hyperdroid. I see you in the chat. Don't make a video on it. I'm gonna make a video on it.
Yeah, dibs. This stream right here is also confirmation. I'll even toss you a little bit more in there. Is look at Fury Rage with the toy, like it's like the last bot. What are the enemies? The one that looks like the box snake thing is just full of toys.
With the keyholes, and there's the toys and inside of its cranium.
Yeah,
and the box. Yep, toy box.
Toy box.
There you go. The biggest FNAF mystery solved right in front of everyone's eyes.
Yeah, and because we were thinking too damn hard.
Too much about it.
Man, part of me
Isn't that wild?
Oh, I thought I heard a cat. Oh, I was hoping we'd get kitten before the end of the stream, but honestly, I thought you were about to say that the kid's body wasn't there, which was a weird thing. Because as soon as you started talking about it being a toy box and that sort of stuff, I immediately went to Binding of Isaac. I don't know.
I've never played.
If you want some good lore digging, Binding of Isaac is just as vague and is very, very good. But the big thing is that it's a lot of imagery of the main character, Isaac, being locked inside a chest.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, they pulled in Isaac. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
and reason that this also connects to the Steam post where Scott said, I'm not going to open the box because would the community accept all the answers? And he knew the answer was no. So he decided to steer away from Dream Theory and try and make it all make sense, which is what I think was the downfall of FNAF lore.
No, yeah, that it very much was. I think I wish he would have been.
And the box.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I really wish that Scott would have been more bold with, like, he does like these soft reboots.
Yeah.
And then decides, no, I want everything for before. He should have just been bold and rebooted.
Yeah.
He could have, instead of having a messy thing that he had to try to make sense, he could have been like, honestly, the VR thing about like, hey, the games were made by a rogue indie developer is like a perfect way to be like, that doesn't matter anymore. Join me on this real story.
Yep.
So, but go on with the box.
I agree. I think the box turned into what MatPat thinks was the map in FNAF 6, where it looks like the box.
Yeah.
It's just never ending.
Yeah, I remember
That's what it turned into. And the whole thing about FNAF 6 is paragraph 4, paragraph 4, paragraph 4. And it's like, where did paragraph 4 come from? Why did we call it paragraph 4?
Mm-hmm.
And this connects to the box because in the Steam post where Scott mentions he's never going to open the box, he starts talking about the box in paragraph 4 of that Steam post. FNAF tubers, don't steal that. Don't steal that, FNAF tubers. I see you, Hyperdroid. I'm keeping track. I see you in the chat. But I shouldn't spoil my theories like this, but look forward to that video eventually.
It's going to be great. Everyone should go watch it.
No. Everyone should go watch Dan's video. When are you making a video? When is that coming out?
Oh, I'm currently working on a video right now. It should be out. I was hoping this weekend, but we've been dealing with a lot of stuff at Theory trying to catch up on some things. But I'm hoping that this Friday we're gonna have an episode on the whole Garten of Banban situation. So yeah, that's
okay.
but this has actually been a very interesting script to write because it's the first time that I'm kind of diving a little bit into commentary because I can't talk about Garten of Banban without talking about some of the discourse surrounding it and how it was covered on YouTube. So
For sure.
I spent a lot of time on it. I am on version 4 of the script, and usually I just roll with the first version.
I'm very excited. Everyone should subscribe and turn on that post notification bell and watch it.
Yeah.
If my people are in the chat, you better watch it. I'm watching.
Yeah, and my people, you better, if you're not already subscribed to FNAF, get over there. What are you doing?
No.
Subscribe to FNAF.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, subscribe to both of us.
Anyway. Yeah. Both attention.
So, hey, thank you everyone for joining. We'll be back. Well, I'll be back on Thursday for something, maybe a horror reaction. Baddington has been telling me that something big's coming out soon. He wants me to check it out, so I'm excited to see. Love Baddington's work. I want to thank John for being here with me.
And sorry if I'm weird or awkward.
And the rest of you, look forward to Game Theory's Talkback, where but Matt can explain himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
It'll be fun.
anyway, bye everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching.
You've got to leave. You guys have to leave.
Leave now.
Leave.
Goodbye.
Bye.